it'll be first section. So we'll see. Hello, everybody. This is Yang Telling Tai Chi traditional long form. We're in the third section and we are approaching the end. So today's move is going to be turn and lotus kick, which is one of the more difficult moves. And I'm going to work on basically gradual exercises to help you get to lotus kick. And but first, we're going to do a review. We're going to start at cross hands and run through the third section all the way up to lotus kick. Okay? And then if you have any questions about anything in what we do now, we'll address those first. And then we'll go into the new move. Okay? So we are at cross hands. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. Shift to right. Turn the left toe almost to straight. Shift your weight back, separate your hands, pull in the right foot, swing, step, brush, strike, roll back, rotate your arms as you move your weight back, turn to the side. Press, pull in the right, attach the left, expand forward. Push, square up your shoulders, flatten your hands, come back over a ball, hands in front of your chest, and push to shoulder level. Diagonal single width. Shift back, flatten your hands. Turn and pull. Right foot goes to 12 o'clock. Press down, ward off with the left, hook hand with the right, standing ward off, step to the diagonal, and push. Wild horse parts its main one. Shift right. Turn the left foot just inside the corner. Pull in your arms. Pull in the right foot. Step and close. Turn and shift weight. 2. Shift back. Ward off down left. Pull right. Shift your weight to the right. Step and close. Turn and shift weight. 3. Move weight back. Pull left, ward off down right. Pull in the right foot. Step and close. Turn and shift weight. Transition to grasp the bird's tail. Shift to the right. Turn the right foot, shift to the left rather. Turn to the right foot to the corner. Pull in the left foot and left ward off. Right ward off. Shift right. Turn the left foot to the corner. Pull left, ward off down right. Pull in the right foot. Step and close. Shift weight and separate. Roll back. Rotate your arms as you reach to the corner. Shift your weight back and turn to the other corner. Press. Pull in the right, attach the left, expand forward. Push. Square up your shoulders, flatten your hands. Come back over a ball, hands in front of your chest. Push up to shoulder level. Single whip. Shift back, flatten your hands. Pull and turn all the way around. Press down, ward off left, hook hand right, standing ward off, step, deflect, strike. Fair lady works the shuttles. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. Press down, turn and pull, step and cross, separate and strike and shift weight. 3, press down, change your footwork, turn to the corner, open and step, strike and close. 4, press down, turn and pull, cross and step, open, strike, and turn your left foot. Transition to grasp the bird's tail. Shift back, make your rollback shape. Turn the right foot to the corner. Pivot the left foot. Left ward off. Right ward off. Shift right, turn the left foot to the corner. Pull left ward off down right. Pull in the right foot, step and close, separate and shift weight. Roll back. Rotate your arms as you reach to the corner. Shift weight back as you reach to the other corner. Press. Pull in the right. Attach the left. Expand forward. Push. Square up your shoulders, flatten your hands. Come back over a ball, hands in front of your chest. Push up to shoulder level. Single whip. Shift back. Turn and pull all the way around. Press down. Ward off with the left. Hook hand with the right. Standing ward off. Step. Deflect. Strike. Cloud hands. Shift right. Turn. 1, 2, 3. Step to the corner. Single whip. Ward off left, hook hand right. Standing ward off, step, deflect, and strike. Snake creeps down. Turn the right foot to the corner. Come back and circle forward. Golden rooster stands on one leg. Shift back up. Turn the right foot to the corner. Pull left. Left foot goes to the corner. Flatten your right hand. One hand up, one hand down. 2. Step back, one line, 2 sides. Flatten the right hand. Flatten the left hand vertically. Pivot on the heel of the left. One hand up, one hand down. Repulse monkey. 1. Swing step. Hand to the shoulder. Turn and strike. 2. Swing step. Hand to the shoulder. Turn and strike. 3. Swing step. Hand to the shoulder. Turn and strike. Diagonal flying. Turn. Pull in the right foot. Step and close. Turn and shift weight. Left foot is to the 12 o'clock. Raise hands and step forward. Pull in the left foot. Push off the ball of the right. Root the right heel and close. White crane spreads its wings. Rotate your arms. Pull down, all the weight's in the back. Circle your arms. Step and close. Turn. Step and open. Left brush knee. Rotate your arms. Swing, step, brush, strike. Needle at C bottom. Yield forward. Pull in the back foot. Push off the ball, the heel of the front foot. Change to the ball and sink down. Stand through the back. Come up, rotate your right arm, attach the left, push up, step, strike. Turn body, and white crane spits out its tongue. Turn. Left foot goes to the corner. Weight goes to the left as you make your fist and pull in the right foot. Strike. Left and then right. Parry, block, and punch. Hands come to the center. Swing, step, one line, two sides. Parry, block, punch. Chengfu. Left foot goes to the corner as your hands open. Pull with the left, ward off down right. Close, right, ward off. Roll back. Reach to the corner. Rotate your arms. Shift weight back as you pull to the other corner. Press, pull in the right, attach the left, expand forward. Push, square up your shoulders, flatten your hands. Come back over a ball, hands in front of your chest, push up to shoulder level. Single whip, shift back, turn and pull all the way around. Press down, ward off left, hook hand right, standing ward off, step, deflect, strike. Cloud hands, shift right, turn. 1, 2, 3. Step right to the corner, ward off down left, hook hand right, standing ward off step, deflect, strike. High pad on horse. Activate your hands. Push off the heel of the front foot as the right hand goes to the shoulder. Step, ball touch, and strike. Thrust palm. Step out to bow stance and thrust out left hand. Turn body and cross kick. Stand up, right heel kick. Step forward, one line, two sides, and punch to the groin. Come up, Chengfu, turn the left foot to the corner as you open the left hand. Pull left, ward off down right. Step and close, right ward off. Roll back. Rotate your arms, reach to the corner. Shift weight back as you reach to the other corner. Press, pull in the right, attach the left, expand forward. Push, square up your arms, flatten your hands. Come back over the ball, hands in front of your chest, and push up to shoulder level. Single whip, shift back, turn and pull all the way around. Press down, ward off left, hook hand right, standing ward off, step, deflect, strike. Snake creeps down. Right foot turns to the corner. Shift weight back, left hand circles back and forward. Come back up. Step up to 7 stars. Come up, turn the right foot to the corner, pull left foot pulls out to the corner, then both arms make a fist, ball touch, and forward. Bend the bow, shoot the tiger. Shift back. Oh, step back and ride the tiger. Sorry. Step back and turn your hands. Then push off the heel of the front foot and pull. Circle. Ball touch and open. How did that go? Questions? So let's do a quick review of the very last move, which is step back and ride the tiger. Okay? So after you've done step up to 7 stars, you're here. When you step back to ride the tiger, I want you to step back 1 line, 2 sides, and turn your arms at the same time. Then you're going to shift your weight back. Pull your arms apart. The right hand is at your hip. Then you're going to turn and open. So from here, you're here. What you're going to do is you're going to step back 1 line, 2 sides as you turn your hands over. Then you're going to shift back and separate at the same time. Then you're going to circle your arms. So you're going to turn this one so this face goes that way. Okay? And then as you shift your footwork, you raise your hand. So you are in white crane, the same position as white crane when you end up. Okay? So the part to remember is when your hand comes here, in other words, when you're here and you switch and your hand comes here, remember to turn your fist that way so that when you turn, you are punching all the way around. Okay. Any questions? Yes, Yali.
Step back, ride a tiger. When you push your weight back, what happened to your left foot?
Okay. So
Did
you
push to the
are,
front?
when you're here and you turn over, at the same time, you are going to step back. Okay. So step back. So when you arrive here, your whole foot on the right side is on the ground, right? Then as you pull back, you're going to pivot on your left heel so that it's forward.
Forward, pointing forward.
Pointing forward, so that when you turn, it can do a ball touch, right? And then you'll be in a correct ball touch empty stance at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
That's what I do. I just wanted to confirm because I noticed my foot, it's pointing 45, right?
Yeah.
And then when you push back, it moves
You're going
forward.
to turn it because you don't want both feet to go that way, except for like very temporary transition steps. You have that.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. The next move. Any more questions on that one? No? Okay. The next one is going to be turn body and swing over Lotus. So usually we have a little series of exercises for the footwork. I'm going to show you what it looks like first so that the exercises will make sense to you. Okay, so if I'm doing it in the same direction as you, okay, what happens is that I am here at the end of step back and ride the tiger. Turn body and kick over lotus looks like this. Okay, so it has two parts. It has the turning part and it has the kicking part. Okay, so usually we do a few exercises for the kicking part to prepare you for the ultimate move. So if you do not have very flexible hips and do not have very good balance, then I would advise you to do this series of exercises to work up to this kicking part. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get a low thing, okay? And what you're going to do is you are going to kick over it, okay? Both sides, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to stabilize a standing leg to the corner, and then you're going to kick from the inside out. Just make a little circle, okay? Inside out. Then, when you find you can do that, you get something that's a little higher, like a wastebasket, okay? And once again, you're going to point to the corner, okay? And you're going to kick from the inside out over whatever it is that you choose to get, okay? Inside out, okay? And once you can do those, when Master Yang taught this, he told us two exercises to do, okay? The first one was a kick exercise. He said, put your hand up in front of your body and kick it. Just kick your hand, okay? Both sides, kick your hand. Then he said, put your hands out and then kick your hands. So your hands start close together, okay? Stand one leg to the corner and kick. Kick the outside of your foot against the palm of your hand. Kick. And then as you get better, go wider and wider. And he could be out here and kick his hand, and I cannot do that. And when he saw how difficult a time we had doing this, he laughed at us and said, you know, my grandmother can do that. And one of the students said, that's great. That means like in 15 years, I could do it too. So I do not expect you to be able to kick your hand out here, but think about, trying to get high enough. And the way the lotus kick is supposed to work is that you are supposed to be able to have your hand out here and kick so that your hand touches the top of your shoe. Okay. Most of us cannot do that, but just do the best you can. Okay. I'm just telling you, the end goal, but I don't expect people to, kick the top of their shoes. I can't kick the top of my shoe. So, what are the intermediate things that you can do? Okay, in terms of kicking, Kelly has a great exercises for beginners. Okay, so to start, let's say you have one foot go to the corner and just put your foot, the other foot straight in front, and just go the ball of your foot on one side and then the other side. And what this does is it opens up your hip. Okay? It opens up your hip without forcing you to balance on one foot, right? You have both feet on the ground and you're opening up your hip. Okay? So let's do that on both sides. Your, big toe, little toe. Big toe, little toe. And you should feel your hip joint opening, but you should feel perfectly stable, right? Both feet are on the ground. Then, as your balance gets better, you should do the hip opening exercises where you have one foot to the corner and basically you lift up your knee and make a circle. So you have one foot to the corner, you lift up your knee and make a circle and come back down at both sides. Go to the left, make a circle and come back down. And make sure that you are in control the whole time. Hold onto a chair if your balance isn't very good. But the idea is to open up your hip joint so that you can make that round kick. Okay? So those are, like graduated ways to help you get to making the kick. Okay? Now, the first part of this move is circling. And the second part is the kicking. So let's do the footwork for the circling part. I'm going to do it first in the direction in which you do it so that it helps orient you. Then I'm going to do it facing you so that you can see better. Okay? So if you are here, you're here, right? What you're going to do is your weight is in the back because you're an empty stance, right? So what you're going to do is you are ball touch empty stance. So the first move you're going to do is pivot on the ball. So you're going to pivot. And then your foot is going to face that corner. Then you're going to lift the heel of this foot and pivot to that corner. Then you're going to pivot on the ball of the right foot and stand up. Okay, so if I do it in the direction facing you, let's say that I am at White Crane. Okay, so what it's going to look like is my weight's on the back. I have a ball touch in the front. I'm going to turn so that I'm facing that corner. Then I'm going to lift the heel of this foot and turn so I'm facing that corner. Then I'm going to pivot on the ball of this foot and move the weight to the left and stand up. Now, the important thing is at the end, when I step down with the left, I want to step with the heel down first, because that's going to be a plant foot for when I move my right foot up, right? So I'm going to plant that left heel so that I'm stable enough to pick up my right foot, okay? And it's going to be toward the corner. So the left foot must land facing the front, or in this case, it would be facing this way if you started in the direction you would normally start, okay? But the idea is that it will allow you essentially to stand up so that the leg that's up is toward the corner. So in order to do that, that means the other foot's got to be 45 degrees from that. And so it would be facing the side. It matters less whether you end up a little forward or a little back, but the important part is to be facing the side. Okay? Because what happens next is you're just going to pick up your right foot. So if it's a little forward or a little back, that matters less than the orientation of the standing foot. Does that make sense? So let's do that a few times. Question? Yes? Marlene, you have a question? Yes?
Nope, sorry. You just asked if that was okay, and I was just giving you thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
That's all. Yep.
Okay, so let's do that a few times, okay? I'm going to do it a couple of times in the direction you would be doing it. Then I'm going to do it a couple of times facing you, because I think doing it in a different orientation often helps, okay? So if I am here, I'm here at White Crane. What I'm going to do first is my weight is already in the back. So I'm going to turn the front foot so that it's facing the corner. Then I'm going to lift the heel of the right foot and turn so that it's facing that corner. Then I'm going to lift up this foot and sweep it around. And then I'm going to land on the heel, put the weight on the heel, and pick up the right foot. So one more time. We're here. We're going to turn, facing that direction. Turn, facing that direction. And then I'm going to sweep with the left and step, oops, step with the heel. Put the weight on the left and pick up the right. Okay? I'm going to do it facing you. Okay, we're here. I'm going to turn, facing there. Then I'm going to turn again, facing there. Then I'm going to sweep, step, shift weight to the left, and stand up. Now, historically, the sweep was a hook sweep. What do I mean by that? So when we were here, what historically you did was that you hooked your foot and then stepped. And what you were doing is you were using the hook part here to hook your opponent, like trip your opponent. Now they don't emphasize that so much. You can have your foot in whatever shape you like, but I'm just telling you historically, that's the way they did it. Okay? Are there any questions? Okay. Now, the hands. So when you are at White Crane, do you remember when you did separation kicks? When you did separation kicks, you did what was essentially a flat spin, right? You you came out. So it was flat as opposed to the vertical ones for heel kicks. This is also flat in terms of the way your arms move. And what you should think of is it's a kind of pulling. Okay, so I'm going to do it in the direction that you would be doing it first so you can see. Okay, so when you're here, what it's going to look like is you're going to be flat. You're going to cross. When you start pulling with the right, you start turning. So when your hand faces the corner, your toe is also facing the corner. Then when you turn again, your hand is facing the corner and this foot is facing the corner. And then when you sweep with the left, your hand faces this corner from which you actually start your kick. Okay? So the thing to remember is that I want you to think of pulling because I don't want you to prematurely turn. What do I mean by that? So when I come here, I'm coming across and I don't turn until this hand starts pulling. You see what I'm saying? I'm here. I flatten. I cross. And then when I start pulling, that's when I start turning. And I continue turning and pulling. And then when I sweep, then I end up in that position. Question?
Yeah, so I need a repeat on the moment when you actually start turning. When your arms are crossed here, this is when you're just about to start to pull. Is that right? And that's
Yes.
the moment when you start to turn your body to the corner.
So when I'm
right?
opening, I'm still facing forward. I'm crossing. But then when I start pulling, that's when I turn.
So have your fingertips crossed out over your, are you like this? Or are you still like this when you start to turn your body and open up?
So I've crossed, I'm still facing forward. But then as I start, basically when my hands cross each other.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, I wasn't sure
see what
in
I
that
mean?
opening at what point you started to
Yeah.
move. So it's
So because
Got it.
what you're actually doing is It's as if you were pulling and then transferring that hand to the other hand and start pulling.
Okay, thank you. That
That's
makes
what
a
the
lot of sense now.
application looks like.
Okay.
That's what the application looks like. So that's why your hands meet before you start pulling, because you're doing a transfer and pull. Okay?
Thank you. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. So I am doing this kind of stepwise. I want you to do it smoothly, but so open, cross, and then as the hands cross, turn, turn, and then sweep. Now, in terms of the end of the sweep, if you do not have very good balance, at the end of the sweep, just step. Okay? I want you to maintain your balance. And if you can't do the complete kick, just make a little circle. One of the people who used to sub when Master Young wasn't there was Edward. And Edward said that he taught in Chinatown in the International District in Seattle. He had a class, and he had a student who was 95 years old and he was still doing Tai Chi, but he couldn't kick. So what he would do is he would make a little circle and he would snap his fingers. So instead of the pat pat where you're supposed to be patting your thigh, he would just snap his fingers and that would signal the pat pat. Okay. So there are all kinds of accommodations for do what you can do, right? So in terms of the, let's do a few more turns and then we'll work on the kick. Okay. So let me do one in the direction you would be doing it, and one facing you, and one more in the direction that you would be doing it, so that you can get all the pieces. Okay, so if you're here in the direction you would be doing it, essentially you flatten, you cross, and you start pulling and turning and turn. And then you're going to sweep, step, and then pick up your leg. Then in the direction that you would, facing you, I want you to flatten, cross, and then pull. Keep pulling. And then sweep and pick up your foot. So the if you were to do it continuously, okay, it would look like this. Cross. And you just keep pulling. Okay? That's what it would look like. Just keep moving all the way around. Now, the kicking part is relatively difficult. So if I'm doing it facing you, what it would look like is I would turn and I would keep turning and I came up. So if you would do it the way Master Yang would do it, when you kick, you would touch the top of your shoe. I can't do that. I mean, so when I come around and I'm here, I only touch my shin. I don't touch all the way to the top of my shoe. And you should kick, if you have your hand out, you should kick at that height. That's what he would like you to do. So I can kick at that height, but I cannot touch the top of my shoe. If you cannot kick to that height, just kick to whatever height you can. If you can kick, let's say that you're here and you can kick this part, this height. Whatever you can do. But he does want you to get that pat pat sound. Okay, so when you're here, and that's what I was saying about the man who snapped his fingers, right? Instead of the pat pat sound, he just snapped his fingers. Okay, so let's say you can't kick very high. Okay, you do what he did. He just made a little circle. Okay, he just gave you the sense that he knew what it was supposed to be, but that's all I can do. That's it. And that's the way it is, right? You have to do what you can do. Okay? So, to go back to what you need, what it's supposed to look like, once you come around and this left foot is facing forward, or if you were doing toward the side, to the side, and this is toward the corner, and your hands are like this, okay? So think of roll back position, except this is down, and hands are seated, okay? So this is facing toward the middle of the right forearm, and you're out here. What you're going to do is you're going to kick, and the hands go from right to left, okay? So you're here. So the thing that's important is the moment you extend your leg, start kicking. In other words, I do not want you to go here and then try to kick, okay? I want you to start the moment the foot goes forward, go around, okay? And otherwise you lose your momentum, okay? And the thing that's hard about this is you're starting here and you're ending up here. Your gaze is here and you move over here. And very often people tend to lose their balance when their gaze shifts. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be aware of that so that you know what's coming. All right? So when you finish turning, you are here. And you're going to extend and kick. Now, the other thing that you must not do is you're not supposed to wind up. What does that mean? When I'm here, you do not go out and then come around. Okay? You go straight out and then kick. Okay? So when you're here, you come out and kick. You don't go that way first and then that way. Okay? So just make sure that your circle is in one direction, not right and then left. It's clockwise all the way around. Okay? Are there any questions? Yes.
So when you're kicking, as soon as you raise the foot up, so you're raising your foot up straight up or to the side.
You raise your foot up straight. So my hands are toward the corner. You see, they are seated and toward the corner, and my leg is up. Then when I extend my leg, I kick. So the hard part is I'm looking this way at my hands. When I extend and kick, I'm looking the other way where my hands went. So a lot of people have their gaze matched to their balance. And if you move your gaze, often you lose your balance. The same thing happens with separation kicks. So very often when people look this way, come together, and then have to look before they kick, they lose their balance. So you should practice your gaze and your hands at the same time. Okay?
Understand the foot part. So you practice, you're trying to, doing your foot kind of a rounded motion.
Yes, it's a roundhouse type.
You are kicking it, you are kicking from the front and moving. It seems like you're moving your hands across your legs.
Yes, that's
So
what
your
it feels
legs
like.
doesn't have much of a circle. It's very small circle.
No, because what happens is that your hands are moving from here to here. But my leg goes from there to there. My leg goes the opposite direction from my hands. Because when I'm here, when I'm kicking, I am kicking this way. But my hands are going that way. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm really making a small circle with my leg. It's a pretty big circle.
Okay.
Right? And my hands are moving a pretty big distance.
Okay.
So when I'm here and my leg comes up and I'm opening, I'm moving legs this way, hands that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just don't see how, if you move your legs straight ahead and try to make a circle.
Yeah. Okay, so I am here. I straighten it out.
Clockwise.
Clockwise.
Yeah.
And my hands are going right to left. Right. So you're here, you stand up, you straighten.
Okay. So after you straighten your leg, you make the circle.
Yes.
All right. So, okay.
So the moment you straighten your leg, you start making your circle.
Okay.
Don't stop.
Okay.
So when you're here, when I straighten.
All right.
So the thing that takes a little bit of practice is that for beginners, after you kick, it's hard to keep your balance after you kick. Because when you finish, you're going to be in the same position. So when you started, you're here. And when you kick, you end up here. And you're basically here and you stop and then you go to the next move. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you make a small circle, okay, you still could go to the left side, come back, but you really couldn't make all the way to the left and come back because you're making a small circle. So how
Right.
did you do that?
So if you are here and you're making, let's say that you don't have very good balance and you come around and you just, do a T-step. And then you make a little circle.
Correct. So which means you still could go to the left, come back, but you can't go
So
all.
here,
Yeah.
okay, so here you make a little circle.
Okay. Okay.
So basically your arms come down to meet your foot.
Got you. Okay.
Okay, instead of your foot coming up to meet your arms.
Okay.
Okay, so you just do what you can. If you can make only a small circle, let's say you turn around and you don't have very good balance, so you end up on your toe on the right foot.
All right.
Then you make a little circle.
Okay. So you just
And then you just keep, as you practice, you can make a higher and higher circle. And then
so when you make a small circle, you still make the sound like this.
you still make the sound.
Okay.
So you're here
Okay.
and you start here and you still make the sound.
Got it. Okay.
Okay?
This is a little bit easier.
Yes. It's easier if at the end of your turn you stop. So here, in the direction you would be doing it, let's say that you're here, here, and then at the end, you just stay down.
Mm-hmm.
Then you make a little circle.
Right. See? Yes.
Okay? And then, as your balance improves, you have your foot higher and higher, But, and that's why I had this graduated exercise, kick over something small, something bigger, and so on. It's for this purpose. Okay? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was a relatively difficult move, and it takes a lot of practice. So thank you for coming to class, and I hope that it helped you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll see you next week.
谢谢老师。
Thank you, Rita. That was
Look at you.
that was helpful. Yes, it was, and it is hard, and it does require lots of practice. So,
Right. But it's very important that I want you guys to keep your balance. It doesn't help anybody if you fall over. Okay? Do not fall over. Okay?
I cannot afford to fall over.
Okay.
My age.
So.
Okay, Rita. I hope that things go well with your husband.
Okay, thank you very much.
Recovery. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.